5:30. Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Yesterday, lawmakers unveiled what they say is the General Assembly's #1 initiative this session, school safety legislation. It does not address any type of gun control or safety. However, some legislators have filed separate bills dealing with firearms. Hillary Thornton takes a look at 2 of those bills.
Representative George Brown is pushing 2 firearm-related bills this session, one dealing with gun safety, the other dealing with what he calls common sense gun control.
It is not an easy issue to address and or talk about, but it's an issue that's necessary.
Last session, following a couple of deadly school shootings, including one here in Kentucky, Representative Brown did file a piece of legislation aiming to ban bump stocks and implement some other regulations. However, that did not receive a hearing. He says he is hopeful this year it will get one and says the language of this Second Amendment is outdated.
Now we have more advanced weaponry and we have the ability to kill more people. There should be a ban on weapons in society that are used for war.
His other proposal would require gun owners to store them securely.
We want people to be responsible for their weapons. The Marshall County shooting, from the reports I got, and then I understand that the young man used his stepfather's gun that was unsecured.
Representative Brown, a member of the school safety working group formed shortly after that shooting. Yesterday, a school safety bill resulting from that work unveiled.
We did not get into any type of gun control legislation in this bill.
Representative Brown says he believes the bill is a good first step, but that they have to do more.
We're going to be back at this place again. I don't want to be pessimistic about it, but I want to be realistic as well.
Hillary Thornton, WYMT Mountain News.
Representative Brown's bill also aims to close gun show loopholes and require registration of assault weapons. One Perry County park is a little safer today after a check by Perry County's new sheriff. Sheriff Joe Engel made it a campaign promise to get out in the community and check on areas folks were worried about. In this video that he posted to their Facebook page, he did just that, checking the Cornetsville and Leatherwood Park for needles, something he plans to do often.
We're going to check that park and we're going to rid it of any kind of problems that it's got. And it's in a rural part of the community, and we just want them people to know that they're going to be able to use that, and we want the people to know that doing things wrong, that they're not going to do that there.
Sheriff Engel is working with Judge Executive Scott Alexander to install security cameras, something that is in the works for all county parks. We are learning more about 3 Central Kentucky school employees charged with criminal abuse involving a special needs student. A criminal summons for Lincoln County teacher Rebecca Spurlock said teacher's aide Janie Hasty punched the student, who has autism and is nonverbal. Officials say Hasty and another aide, Teresa Sparkman, then twisted the student's arm, pulled him off the floor, and shoved him. The documents say Spurlock did nothing to intervene.
Well, we continue to look at cold temperatures across eastern Kentucky. That's been the big story, even though we are partly cloudy to mostly sunny at this time. Let's take a look at Whitesburg, and you'll notice we're starting to lose our daylight pretty quick, and temperatures will drop quickly as the skies clear out across the mountains here in eastern Kentucky and Tennessee, and even into portions of Virginia and West Virginia. Notice the flurries still continuing to the northeast, and a few of those flurries provided some snow showers and a light coating earlier this morning in the Big Sandy communities. That's why the cloud cover keeping them cooler. 23 in Pikeville, 21 in Wise, and those 20s they continue from Richmond all the way even down to Harlan, Kentucky, where it is 28 degrees. You factor in the wind and it feels like the upper teens to lower 20s for some. Cumberland Valley, not too bad, 30 degrees there in London and 30 in Pulaski County. A lot of people still want to know, all right, what can we expect for this system as we head into the weekend? Well, snow chances look better and better as we head into late Friday, early Saturday. That transition to rain happens sometime on Saturday, and there is a chance we see even more snow possible late Sunday. Steve, we're going to issue our first call for snowfall for that Friday night into Saturday morning coming up here at 5:45.
All right, Andrew, thank you. President Trump makes a trip to the southern border as the partial government shutdown reaches day 20. The shutdown has left 800,000 workers either off the job or working without pay. Representative Andy Barr is co-sponsoring a bill that would require the government to pay its employees during a shutdown, but the Republican says he stands by the president's push for increased border security, including the wall. You will hear from Representative Barr at 11. In western Kentucky, tours are suspended at Mammoth Cave National Park because of the shutdown, but that's helping business at a different cave system. The owner of Crystal Onyx Cave in Cave City says he's seeing more people. The cave closed at first, but its owner reopened because he knew he'd get more business. He received calls from people who had planned to visit Mammoth Cave but no longer were able to tour. It will still be a few weeks before we know which teams will be in the Super Bowl, but that's not slowing CBS Sports from preparing for the world's biggest one-day sporting event. CBS's Meg Oliver caught up with the broadcast team in New York.
Studio.
Play-by-play man Jim Nantz and sideline reporter Tracy Wolfson are Super Bowl veterans, but analyst Tony Romo is working the big game for the first time.
The story isn't quite written yet, but this is a big week. It's almost like a nervous energy.
The former Dallas Cowboys quarterback is thrilled to share the booth with Nantz.
Jim is that rare guy where you're like, he's actually that guy. Like, he's that guy all the time, and you're like, I wish I was that good in life.
Romo knows the sweat and heartache it takes to reach the playoffs.
I know how it affects them and their wife and their family and the kids and the next generation if they win this game, and it's just a big deal, and I want to hopefully capture that and share that to the viewer.
The home of Super Bowl 53.
This year's Super Bowl is in Atlanta on February 3rd. It's the 20th time CBS Sports has broadcast the game, beginning with Super Bowl I in 1967.
It's an event. It's a holiday.
Wolfson is back for her third Super Bowl on CBS.
The Super Bowl still captivates the world. Why is that? I just think everyone can relate to it. Kind of everyone, it's not really about who necessarily wins or loses. Everyone decides, they kind of pick a side, but they're also, picking boxes and gambling on it. They get together. It's become a tradition.
And while CBS Sports is ready, the NFL isn't there just yet. 8 teams are still battling for a ticket to the biggest game of the year. Meg Oliver, CBS News, New York.
Both CBS and NBC broadcast the first Super Bowl, but there is only one known recording of the entire game. There could be another summit between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. That's according to South Korea's president. Kim discussed a possible meeting when he visited China this week. Some also expect Kim to visit the South Korean capital by the end of the year. A backpack program in Corbin teams up with Resource Center staff at schools in the area. Now it's feeding close to 1,000 kids and their families a week. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talked to organizers with the Corbin Community Backpack Program.
13 years ago, the First Christian Church in Corbin decided to start a project to help kids going hungry when they go home.
I had a principal who told me that on Monday morning, there were kids lined up outside the building waiting to get in to get something to eat.
Church members say their first time they sent food through the backpack program, they sent 30 bags, but donations and volunteers soon flooded their doors.
I think we realized it was going to be a bigger project than just our church could handle.
Church members, businesses, and local volunteers came together to continue growing what they soon called the Corbin Community Backpack Program, filling a need close to their hearts and homes.
You just don't think about it being right here in your backyard. Most of us are retired teachers, so we have seen this firsthand.
Throughout the week, volunteers and resource staff from schools in Knox and Whitley counties help bring these bags to students before they start their weekends.
Anything we send can be eaten without any type of cooking or anything like that. And this way we know that they have something over the weekend.
Making sure no kid goes hungry when they leave school. In Corbin, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
Great program there. Parents can sign their kids up for the backpack program in their school resource center. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, BMW unveils a self-driving motorcycle. A look at the future of transportation. And in our Money Watch report, the Federal Reserve Chairman does not seem to be in a hurry to raise interest rates again.
Coming up, I'll tell you how a local nonprofit organization got 2 very generous donations just within a week of each other.